by forming evidence-based business cases. The strategy calls for more advanced CCTV, but every technological advance further erodes freedoms of the public. Increasingly, we see police criticising CCTV, but such criticism is being used to upgrade the surveillance cameras. The cycle goes something like this. Convince the public CCTV works. Install the systems. Admit it doesn't work. Upgrade the systems, promising it will work this time. Repeat ad infinitum. The National CCTV Strategy calls for registration of all cameras and proposing networking cameras to the police. That includes private cameras. Plans are laid out for a CCTV network in conjunction with other databases to allow for data matching, mining and profiling, such as town centre cameras connected to ANPR systems and transport cameras to travel cards. And ultimately, there is the search for the panacea. The search continues for the panacea of CCTV, systems capable of automatic factor analysis, person identification, and behavioural analysis. Some of these schemes are already being developed. One project is the ADA-BTS project, Automatic Detection of Abnormal Behaviour and Threats in Crowded Spaces. It is seeking to develop models of suspicious behaviour so these can be automatically detected using CCTV and other surveillance methods. The Samurai project, Suspicious and Abnormal Behaviour Monitoring using a network of cameras for situation awareness enhancement. This one seeks to develop abnormal behaviour detection systems based on a heterogeneous sensor network consisting of both fixed position CCTV cameras and mobile wearable cameras with audio and positioning sensors. But for a taste of where all CCTV is headed, we'd only look at the network of automatic number plate or ANPR cameras that is being constructed across the UK. In the past, repressive regimes such as the Soviet Union used roadside checkpoints to periodically check drivers' papers. Up until now, the absence of such checkpoints is what made the UK a free country that respected the rights of its citizens. Automatic number plate recognition cameras constitute an automated checkpoint system that, along with other surveillance cameras, undermines the status of the UK as a free country. ANPR cameras are linked to multiple databases, use automated data matching, and allow tracking of individuals as they move around on the UK roads. These cameras were originally sold as helping to identify stolen or suspect vehicles. But the latest Association of Chief Police Officers ANPR strategy states that these cameras will be embedded into core police business by March 2010. How do we get from uninsured cars to a core policing tool? Where was the public debate? And what sort of a society are we creating? Should a national database of facial scans be constructed of the UK population via the Identity Card Project or the biometric passports, then all indications are that CCTV could and would be linked to such databases in the future. Such a reliance on technology brings with it risks. What is it that people say? Nothing to hide, nothing to fear? Kieran O'Hara puts it another way. If you keep within the law, and the government keeps within the law, and its employees keep within the law, and the computer holding the database doesn't screw up, and the system is carefully designed according to well-understood software engineering principles and maintained properly, and the government doesn't scrimp on outlay, and all the data are entered carefully, and the police are adequately trained to use the system, and the system isn't hacked into, and your identity isn't stolen, and the local hardware functions, well, you have nothing to fear. But there's nothing we can do about it, right? Wrong. We, the people, need to stop the surveillance state. Desmond Brown QC, chairman of the Bar Council, told a meeting earlier this month that in a country with a strong common law tradition, it is the common law principles which govern protection of our privacy that we should all be working to uphold. We must not rely on politicians to bring in more legislation to fix it. Regulation is not the solution. We need to demand that politicians stop wasting our money on a technology that trades our liberty for security and loses both. So how do we fight it? Most of the decisions are made at a local level. You just need to know who to fight. Attend local council meetings, lobby councillors, ask them to prove the need for CCTV. Decisions are often made by crime and disorder reduction partnerships. These were set up under the Crime and Disorder Act 1998. They're given responsibilities to generate crime control strategies, given names like Safer Oxford, Safer Birmingham, Safer London. Like Pubwatch and other quangos, these are shadowy coalitions of bodies that allow policy laundering by police and local authorities. Join neighbourhood action groups, often linked to these crime and disorder groups. Use the Freedom of Information Act and Local Government Acts to obtain information and find out what these people are up to. Believe it or not, licensing is another major area. Local licence committees are now a front line in the fight for civil liberties. The Licensing Act 2003 is being used as a way of removing freedoms for alcohol. Police will often contest a licence or licence variation unless certain criteria are met. Attend local licensing committees. Ask the committee to tell you why freedoms are being traded for booze. The local and national media. Write to the media. London pub landlord Nick Gibson went to the media when the police required CCTV as a licensing condition. As a result of media intention, the council backed down. But be careful with the media because much of them love CCTV as a good copy and good images for them. Then there's the police. Ask for detailed crime data, down to the beat code level. The new crime maps are not good enough. Find out about other interventions they're doing, such as changing policing methods at the same time as putting cameras in, and look for trends in data. What if we do nothing? We shall find in 10 or 20 years' time that serious crime has risen yet further, terrorism will be more strongly embedded, and law enforcement agencies will still be failing in their intelligence and ability to prevent such activities. Yet we as decent citizens will have sacrificed completely our rights to privacy and anonymity. This is a very serious matter. Let me just leave you with one more quote from science fiction writer Philip K. Dick about government and trust, which I think relates not just to CCTV, but everything that we're speaking about here today. He said, "Any government which assumes that the population is going to do something evil has already lost its franchise to govern. The tacit contract between a government and the people is that the government will trust the people and the people will trust the government. But once the government begins to mistrust the people it is governing, it loses its mandate to rule, because it is no longer acting as a spokesperson for the people, but is acting as an agent of persecution."